I choose to be public about my recovery, to be part of this change. And in the knowledge that if just one of the 20 million or so suffering Americans who've never had any treatment, can't get any help, won't talk about it, are utterly helpless and don't know what to do, if just one of those folks gets just a little bit of hope from hearing me talk, then it's worth it. I speak out so people know recovery from addiction is possible, that recovery will bring them a life beyond their wildest dreams, and that they, in fact, deserve to have that life. Aldous Huxley said that experience is not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you. I was given wealth, power, and fame when I drew my first breath. Now what? My dad was a movie star, member of the Rat Pack. I grew up in a house that was built by Louis B. Mayer, one of the great moguls of Hollywood. Some of the people that were hanging around our pool were Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe taught me how to do the twist when I was 6 years old. When I tell people that, especially men, they go, wow. Marilyn Monroe taught you how to do the twist when you were 6 years old? What was that like? I go, I was 6. But I do remember her having a pretty significant impact on the adult males in the room. Frank Sinatra was a great friend of my parents. Actually, he was godfather to my sister Victoria, who was a couple years younger than me. And I had godfather envy from a really young age because he would come to her like third and fourth birthday parties with really inappropriates for a 3-year-old, like diamond earrings. And I had a godfather who was like a surfer friend of my dad's I barely remember meeting, much less getting anything from. My mom was from this big Irish Catholic family in Massachusetts who nobody had ever heard of prior to 1960, named the Kennedys. Her older brother was the junior senator from that state who nobody had ever heard of outside of politics, John F. Kennedy. But in 1960, that all changed because the Democrats came to California, Los Angeles, and they had their convention. And we lived in Los Angeles, and I went to that convention. My mom was a delegate. I went there. I wore a little red jacket. I had an American flag, and I was mesmerized by the American political process. That spectacle was just unbelievable to me. But of course, I was 5, so I got a little tired, and I fell asleep in my chair. And my mom took me and brought me back to my Uncle Jack's hotel room and put me in his bed, and she went back to the convention and voted for her brother to be the Democratic nominee. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, after my uncle had been nominated and given his speech and done that whole thing, they came back to the hotel, and my uncle and my mom came into the room where I was sleeping. And my Uncle Jack sat down on the side of the bed, and he woke me up, and he looked at me with great purpose, and he said, "Christopher, I've been nominated to be President of the United States of America. It's going to be a very hard job. Will you help me?" And I rubbed the sleep from my eyes, and I said, "Sure, Uncle Jack, but can we do it tomorrow? Because I'm kind of tired right